I told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on 103.5 WNHHLP, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/NewHavenIndependent or go to your Facebook page and look us up. Good
Hey,
afternoon,
Joe.
Lou.
How's it going?
Going well, Lou. Going well. Nice day today.
Oh, it is. It is.
Had a nice weekend this weekend.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Very nice.
I'm doing well.
It was a. I don't want to say beautiful, but it was. I'm a very positive person, as everybody kind of knows that.
Right.
But the rain didn't dampen our spirits at all. We were all together for Sunday, which was very nice. You got a couple other things we're gonna go over, but I guess
the first
today's
annual hemp harvest.
Yeah, today's highlight is gonna be the first annual Hemp Harvest Fest. And who's our guest?
Our guest today is Becky Gutch from Running Brook Farms in Killingworth, and she was actually the host.
She was the host
event this
location.
weekend.
She's an awesome woman, and I really can't wait to talk to her about the event in a little while.
And she has an interesting story about how she got into the
Mhm.
business. She was doing other kinds of farming, and
Mm-hmm.
so let's hear. And she was very instrumental in helping, which I didn't know until yesterday, in helping get the hemp bill
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
through.
She was part of the team.
She was part of the team, so that's a good thing. We will chat with her. But yeah, overall, it was a good day.
Yes, sir.
It was, I mean, for those of you who don't know, it was scheduled to be an outdoor event, but obviously the rain changed that. But we were all
She had
indoors.
a huge barn.
Right.
It was absolutely
Luckily, she had
awesome.
a huge, we were in the greenhouse,
Yeah.
actually, right?
Yep, it was absolutely beautiful. They had a bunch of other plants there that they
Yeah.
were still going with.
Yeah.
We
She
had
has a nice
little-
mums they got.
nice whole selection there. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Saturday, what did you do Saturday, brother?
I was at Go Joe's all day.
Go Joe, selling coffee, doing medical clinic that day.
Medical was Friday.
Medical was Friday.
So I had a busy week. Yeah, so medical Friday, Go Joe's with the records on Saturday.
Oh
I
yes,
did the
I
vinyl
love
records.
that. I
You
love
like
that vinyl part, man. It brings it back to a space where you can kind of go hang out, spend some time together,
Yeah.
and really look at. And vinyl sales has passed CD sales this year. That
Yeah.
was one thing I heard on the news. So vinyl sales have passed
Yeah.
CD sales for the first time since 1984, I believe.
Yeah. Big
So
time
that was
since
a
they
big-
first came out.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. So that was a,
Yeah, it's
that was a
huge.
real big thing.
And so we got a guy, you can spin the records. If you like a record, you want to hear it, he'll put it right on the record player for you. We'll play it.
Yeah.
We're spinning tunes all day, selling coffee and
That's right.
edibles and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, CBD galore. I love it.
And then Sunday, of course, we had the Hemp Fest.
And Sunday was the Hemp Fest. And
There was CBD galore there.
That was. Oh man, was it hemp and CBD and different? There was some kratom there. There was
Kratom, which I tried for the first time.
Yeah. Ooh,
Different experience.
was
for
it?
sure.
I still haven't tried the kratom.
I was hesitant.
Yeah,
But my buddy Rich talked
Oh
me into
man,
it.
Rich is big into the kratom there. Bohemian High, I really like them.
Yeah,
They
were
come
fun.
out for everything.
They were
Rich and
there.
Gloria do.
As was Ricky D.
Yeah,
And he had the
let's
new
give that
barbecue
big
sauce.
shout out to
Yeah.
Ricky D, a New Haven local. If you don't know that, just look up Ricky D's Rib Shack. He's a New
Yep.
Haven local here. He started with his food truck and then was able to move into a brick and mortar.
Yep.
Ricky is also on the board of directors for the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association. So he has been instrumental in really pushing the CBD sector of it because he's not a grower, he's not a processor. What he does is manufactures product like
the
his,
CBD barbecue sauce.
like the CBD barbecue sauce. So they have
Which-
great new packaging and everything. We connected him with
Yep.
those peoples, and he put it all together. He did his thing, and man, Ricky came out the gate swinging yesterday with all
Really?
that food. It
With
was
all that
absolutely
food.
delicious,
and it was excellent. People loved it.
Oh, I had a great time. My family was there, and we had
Yep.
2 couple plates, and
Yeah.
we had a great time.
Yeah.
Some great panels going on during
Yeah,
that time.
nice growers panel.
Big information, big extract panels, support panels. The farmers panel was awesome.
Yeah.
We got to talk to farmers in all different
Sectors,
stages
yeah.
and sectors. So everybody from people that are doing builds outs all the way to the accomplished, like our buddy Mike Goodenough, man, super
Right.
accomplished in the extract world, and we just continue wishing him continued success.
And it
man.
was nice that everybody was in one place as a community.
Yeah, it was
And
nice
it was
to see that.
definitely more of, and you could tell it was more of the hemp
Oh, it was a
community.
hemp community, not a that
Not a
wasn't
cannabis
it wasn't
community.
a cannabis underground style event at all.
Mm-mm.
And it was really a nice CBD hemp event.
Yeah.
These are the type of events that I'm just learning about this year, Joe.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
been
they're
going
just
out-
starting to happen here.
Yeah, I've been going out of state to a lot of them, like the Hemp Builders Association. That's
right. You
now-
just got back from that.
Yep. So, oh wow.
How was that? Oh, look what you got on your shirt. I love it.
I didn't even realize what it was, Joe. I'm-
On your well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
nice and green. Here, let's put that in a bowl.
it's hemp, I swear.
I'm sure it is hemp. I'm sure you were around it all morning.
All morning, we're taking down one of the. I have staff still over at the farm doing. Look at that, Joe. It's like a whole bowl.
There you go.
I must have crushed it on my shirt while I was trying to pull it down from the barn. I was
Wow,
like,
that's a nice bowl. That's small.
yeah, I was like, oh man. Oh man.
That's great.
Sometimes things are just, the truck bed, the liner in my truck bed has like, I have to say at least a quarter ounce of like hemp bud still sitting inside the little grooves and stuff. Every time people are like, "Oh, yo, you gonna pull those out?" I said, "They'll fly out sometime.
Sooner or later. Right?
Sooner or later, they'll fly out. But until then, somebody's gonna enjoy looking at it when it does fly out or
Yeah.
something." I was pretty.
That's interesting. Just
Oh man.
stay away from the drug dogs.
Oh man, drug dogs are useless around me. They can't differentiate between cannabis,
I know.
hemp and THC.
It's hard to teach them that. There they go.
He did say we were gonna have to work the boards ourselves.
Yeah.
Can I learn where those sound effects are? We're gonna have so many
we
new
would
sound
have
effects.
fun with sound effects. Speaking of drug dogs,
Yeah, did you?
and I discussed
Whoa.
this.
Dairy and Police Troop G.
Troop Big G's. The OG troop.
Troop.
Of Darien.
Troop. You guys did a great job at apprehending all 420 pounds of that.
Yeah, we know they rounded that
That
number.
was a rounded
up.
number. There was, I guarantee there was probably like, it could have been 450, it could have been 400, it could have been 350.
Right.
That 420 number,
They put that in
strategically
there.
planned.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't know which one of us goes to the guy and says, just load up 400.
120
I
pounds.
just need 420 pounds.
Yes.
And it fits perfectly in the back of U-Haul.
Right. Give me a break.
That wasn't the smartest thing anybody has ever done.
No.
I
no.
just don't even.
420 pounds. I guess they were coming from Cali.
I guess
Both
so.
guys
They
were
were-
from LA.
They were both from LA.
Yep. and
They were in a car with a U-Haul. I don't.
They pulled into a truck stop, the Darien truck stop
Yeah.
down there. I don't know what the hell they were doing to make them be suspicious, but
Yeah, but they
I guess
were-
a cop was in there at the same time with the dogs. See, this is where it gets kind of dicey. Did they make it look like it was an accidental stop to
There
protect
you
their
go.
sources? I mean,
somebody snitched.
somebody snitched. Yeah.
Somebody snitched, and something like that. In Darien, guys from LA, would they fly it into our airport here or Boston or something and
Mm.
decide they wanted to go down south, or it's trying to think about what the
Where were they bringing it?
right, like what's the
Why wouldn't you bring it into New? Well, maybe they were heading into New York. We don't know because if you're at Darien, you've already passed New York.
if they were coming up this way.
Yeah, if they were coming across, that's true.
But then we have legal we have legal cannabis and everything in
they don't
Massachusetts.
need it there.
And then Maine is the Humboldt Triangle of
Yeah.
the East Coast, so you're not taking imported Canadian,
Right.
California, but
Weed
up to Maine. I don't.
That had to be coming here then.
It had
or New
It
York.
was for a Connecticut stop, I believe. That or two LA guys were in Connecticut doing their thing, and then I don't know.
Well, let's look. Why did Connecticut get the bust? I mean, how many states did they go through if they got snitched? Where did they get snitched?
Yeah.
On? Obviously in Connecticut.
It was their buyer.
Yeah.
Check on your boys.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening, check on your
There
boys.
we go. Right. That makes a lot of sense.
That
They
makes-
caught the
Come
buyer,
on.
set up a buy guy.
Yo, my guy.
Yeah.
Just bring the big one. Yo, just need one quick big one.
Yeah.
Snitch, snitch.
Bring
snitch.
420.
Yeah. Craziness. Talk about a
Insane,
setup.
Yeah, I think that's how it exactly went down.
We call it a setup, but that our law enforcement officers call that
a victory.
a victory, a big tip, and it was.
Let's be real.
It is. It is a good one on them. Good
yes,
job.
they did take 420 pounds out of the black market.
Yes, sir. I've been going to the dispensary, so it doesn't
matter
me.
to me either.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? Like, my book bag is a veritable cornucopia of pre-roll containers at this point, and I really like the new ones that are square and hard plastic. They look way better than the medicine bottles. Yeah, they look, and I like the packaging better now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, if you're getting your weed from legal places, it actually is a win for law
it's a win for the city and everything. And you know what? We about it. You know what I mean? Congratulations, guys. The dogs looked like they were very cute puppies.
Had a fun time.
They were very cute puppies. They looked great because we're dog people. I'm a dog person, so I saw the dog. I was like, oh, cute dogs.
But then the dog will put you in jail.
That dog will have to get fired if it comes around me because it's hemp. I'm a legal hemp grower.
That's right. Leave me
Prove
alone,
me wrong.
doggy. So yeah, those guys are looking at some serious time.
Serious time.
Yeah, man, because they're gonna get them for drug trafficking.
Oh, that's the one that they're
lines, the whole deal. So it's too bad, but there you go. But on a good note, speaking of legal, 5 new conditions added to the medical marijuana program last week.
From the black market to the legal side. Go ahead and let's talk about it, Joe.
So we got 5 new conditions. Now they've been debating over these for a while. It's been almost over a year for some of them, but a couple of them they put in fairly quickly. So they put in 5 new conditions last week, which will probably take effect by the beginning of the year, maybe sooner. But they still have to go and be reviewed by the legislature. But these were confirmed and approved by the Board of Physicians. So first is in interstitial cystitis. I believe that is a digestive issue.
Right.
Yeah. And then MALS syndrome, MALS, is medium accurate ligament system syndrome. That has something to do with an artery that doesn't open properly or that causes pressure onto another artery, and that the cannabis, I guess, would relieve, make that loosen up and open up. The third one is vulvodynia and vulvar burning. So we know where the vulva is, so that's part of the female genitalia. So I guess that would be for chronic burning. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not the doctor.
Chronic burning, I think. Chronic burning and swelling of that area, of that vulva.
You know what? I don't even want to touch this subject, bro.
Yeah, because I don't like. I mean,
forward.
Does that mean after
not even touching this one?
Does that mean like after you have a rough night?
I'm not a doctor either, but I play one on the radio.
Is that like after you have a busy night? Do you like?
You know what? We can't even joke about this because we don't know about it.
I wish I had a female in here to ask. Maybe but.
We'll get the call. Somebody will contact and say,
somebody who has
somebody's going to be upset that we just made a small joke about it.
Yes, if you have vulvodynia, you can please let us know exactly what it is. And then the big one is intractable neuropathic pain.
Yes,
that is unresponsive to standard medical treatment. So basically, if you decode that, it means chronic pain.
Yes. Now explain that just a little bit further because it is an important one.
Yeah, this is the big one.
It's about an established history.
Right.
That's the biggest part of this.
You have to have an
Joe.
ailment, like you say, an established history, an ailment that has caused you pain for years, months, whatever. So let's say you had a surgery on your back 5 years ago.
Yes.
And you still, no matter they had the surgery, you're still in pain.
You're still
every
in that
single
back pain
day.
all the time.
Even though they've given you opiates, they've given you the blockers, the GABA blockers and stuff. They've tried everything. No matter what, you're still in pain, and you're getting addicted, basically.
Yeah.
So this is now they will allow you to prescribe medical marijuana for those people who cannot get relief any other way with chronic pain. The only thing is now you have to have that underlying condition.
Yeah.
So you had to have an accident. You had, there has to be a reason you have this chronic pain. You can't just go in there and go, oh man, I hurt all over, and this and that.
Right, and then
today's Tuesday and it's been hurting since Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's going on 7 days, and I really need a doctor to give me weed.
Right.
No, that doesn't work.
No.
No, like you had cancer and you lost your
limb.
The limb.
Right, you lost
you
the
have
limb.
some phantom pains or whatever other pains, and because that's not necessarily covered. You're losing a limb.
Right.
So you lost a limb. you want to use cannabis as a form of your medical treatment
Right.
to chronic pain that's there, that would qualify.
That would qualify.
And I know that's more of an extreme, but yes. And as you said earlier, a back pain.
Right.
I've had a back pain my entire life after high school, or I went to work and I strained
Fracture.
myself, and I've got some bad stretches in my back, and my body hasn't been able to heal. And they gave me the muscle relaxers. And now this is different than a pain
Right.
thing. This is just a treatment that hasn't been successful for that pain.
Right.
But it's not an opioid type of pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is more of a muscle relaxer pain, so that's not the opioid side of
Right.
it. This is, so now they take the muscle relaxers, they do the yoga, they do the hot bath,
Still
they
not
do all
working.
the, it doesn't work. Then you have an issue of chronic
Pain.
chronic pain due to non-response to all the other medical
Other
treatment.
medical treatments that there are.
And then that would qualify there.
Yeah, and there are a lot of ways, and the doctors will, I'm sure, be able to work around that.
Right.
But a good thing, I mean, one of the biggest things about it is it will give people who have possibly become addicted to opioids, possibly have been using opioids that hasn't really been working for them, another option. And that's what's really, really important is people have been, they need another option to opioids.
Yes.
And it will open the door without actually saying opioid use disorder. It will open the door because we know a lot of those people who are addicted to opiates or
Right.
the chronic pain patients. Those are the people that they say, they'll say, oh, I had the surgery 2 places and my back broke, and they put pins in there and it's still, no matter what they do,
Right.
I know people like that. So that'll help those people a lot. And the fifth one and last one is the Tourette's
Ooh.
syndrome. And I could see where cannabis could work for that.
It could.
Because it's like a seizure type of tick thing.
100%. It'll slow those ticks down.
Yeah.
And I know somebody personally that I've worked with in the past, and as a colleague, not necessarily as a treatment type of thing or anything, but he had a mild form of Tourette's. Has a mild form of Tourette's, and that's how he deals with it.
Right.
We met each other. We're grown men. He's 37 years old. He's doing what he's doing with his life. He works in the CBD sector, but he has a mild form of Tourette's,
Right.
and he uses cannabis. Very specific as well.
For that.
Yeah, he's like, I have to use something with CBG on it, and a high THC mixed with a CBD and CBN and CBG, full spectrum. So
Ah.
he uses stuff that is more hybrid indica as well. That's what he uses.
Oh, okay, that makes sense,
So
yeah.
hybrid indica with the extra, that whole entourage effect. Like I said, I'm not the doctor.
Right.
So
right.
I
But I'm
can-
sure his dispensary hooks him up.
His dispensary hooks him up thoroughly, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. And the pharmacists here in Connecticut are really nice.
Yeah. So for me, I think those are the 2 big ones: the chronic pain and the Tourette's syndrome. Are really going to help bring in a lot of patients. I believe the others are, I wouldn't say rare, but they don't occur as often as, say, the chronic pain or Tourette's do. So,
Yes.
but I'm sure obviously there is a need for it because somebody petitioned to put them on. So there obviously is a need, and there has been some research done that cannabis does help these conditions. The Mal syndrome and
Right.
right. Or else you don't get on the
Or else
you
it
don't
wouldn't
get
have
on the
gone
list. Yeah, you don't get on
You
the
know?
list. So I know that we know the process to get
That
on the
is
list.
a long process and
Yes.
a hard process, and those things had to go through in the way of
Petition,
hard work,
yeah.
petition, signatures, medical expert review.
Yeah.
So there was people fighting for these.
Yeah. So
we-
obviously there's a need for it.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
know some of the people personally that were fighting for some of the diseases, some
Yeah.
of the conditions. So we say congratulations to
on the
those
chronic
groups.
pain, yeah.
So we say exactly. You say congratulations to those groups, and big congratulations and success to you guys. And thank you so much for keeping up that big fight when
Yeah.
so many are not unable to get their way up there. You guys are definitely there. So there's a big shout out to all of you.
Yeah, it took a lot of work, a lot of testimony in front of the doctors, and they finally did it. So that's a good thing. And, onward and upward with the medical program. We'll see how,
It's going to be the focus of what we have going on realistically as we keep pushing for the legalization. Medical is going to be a big part of it, even if they, depending what they shoot down or pick up, or we're still
Yeah.
so uncertain with what's going to happen there. But focusing on expanding our medical program will go a
Yeah.
long way.
I think if we could get grow rights for medical patients
That's a big thing.
and delivery.
yeah.
Delivery would be, even me working in Can Health,
Yeah.
I see so many patients
Yeah.
who come in who really couldn't get to the dispensary if it weren't for somebody driving
Right.
them or whatever, who really could probably, what if that person who's driving them isn't available?
Right.
And they, you know what I mean? And they need medicine or whatever. What if their caregiver gets ill?
Yep.
So, I mean, at least if there was a delivery service, people like that who are incapacitated, who are possibly bedridden,
Mm-hmm.
could get medicine
it's a really
delivered to
big
their
thing.
door. So, for me, if we could get improvements like that, like patient grow rights and delivery, that would be a big win for the medical
Very
program
big.
here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully that maybe this year is something that we can focus on. And we still don't know where they stand with legalization. I'm hoping to get Josh Elliott on the show within the
That
next
would be
few
a big one.
weeks to talk about it. Because, I mean, last we heard they want to go with a regional approach. I know you and I discussed that. We don't think it's the best thing in the world. And speaking to
New
other
York
advocates,
is New York, and this is Connecticut.
yeah, and we're two different states, and I think we have to realize that. On the good note, we're waiting for our caller to call in, but on a good note, as a matter of fact, for the first time ever, a supermajority
Yes.
of people are in favor of legalizing marijuana nationwide.
It's a big thing.
Nationwide. So, you know, everybody, it's like 70% now of the public are looking they're
To approve
in favor.
it, you know, because it's a
marijuana.
big thing. You know, marijuana is one of those hot bill topics, and
Yeah.
it's one of those buzzwords, as we call it. You know, this weekend I was over at the hemp. US.
Actually, Becky is in here right now.
Oh, we got Becky.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
There she
Becky.
is. Hi, Becky. How are you?
Hi.
Hey.
Well, thanks for having me.
Becky, now how do we pronounce your last name? Is it Gotch or Goich?
Well, I think Goich would be like very authentic, but Getch.
Getch. Okay. So it's Becky Getch from Running Brook Farms in Killingworth, Connecticut here. And Becky, we were just talking about what a nice time we had yesterday.
We had a fantastic time, Becky. Thank you so much for inviting us over to your property and really being so hospitable.
Yeah, it was really,
Oh
really.
my gosh, I felt so blessed that people turned out in the rain. Despite the rain, and it was just a great way to get the ball rolling to celebrate hemp, you know, together. I loved it.
It was
Yeah.
a great time. The smile on your face was absolutely amazing. The time with you and your family, and it was one of those times that we're so excited to be in the CBD hemp and industrial hemp world because this is something that we can share with our families. You know, it was great to see you and your husband and your children there, and hearing the stories about how your family has been such a supportive portion of the hemp industry and how you guys are just doing so great up there. It's inspiring.
Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of that, Becky, give us a little bit of a history. Now, you've been in the farming industry for a while here in Connecticut. You've been running a farm up in Killingworth. What made you decide to go into hemp? Give us a little history of Running Brook Farms and how
Sure.
you got into the hemp
Running Brook
industry.
Farms is a family business that's been owned and operated by Scott Papusha, and gosh, I don't even know exactly when they got started, but our website says 34 years ago. He got started back in firewood when he was just in high school with like a pickup truck and an axe kind of thing.
awesome.
And naturally, over the years, it's kind of organically evolved from a landscape company that brought on a greenhouse because it made a lot of sense to have their own plants. And his father, Jerry, had also run a greenhouse operation back in the 70s.
Mm.
So they've been doing, you know, ornamental plants, shrubs, trees, fruit trees, and vegetables for decades now. And I met Scott about 5 years ago, and my background is in biotech industry. I had a long career. I have a doctorate in molecular biology, and then did about 15 years in the biotech industry. And when I met him, it was time for a change. Needless to say,
Time for a
his parents-
change, career
Yeah.
change.
career change, big career change. And his parents are at retirement age, and they needed some support and help on the greenhouse side of things. And so I joined about 3 years ago now. And gosh, what a learning curve for this girl, right? Going from test tubes and the small
Molecular
world of
biology.
into the big plant world.
Wow.
But it's been really exciting. It's been full of learning curves, but I have a big passion for customer service, and I love that side of it. And obviously the plant world is a whole new chapter of my scientific kind of career as well. So that's where I come into the picture. As far as hemp goes, hemp comes to Running Brook from basically when I got there. You know, I think Scott has thought about medical marijuana from day one, but and I'm sure you've talked a ton on the show about the barriers to entry
Mm-hmm.
for
Oh,
that.
yes.
The state has, just made it prohibitively expensive. And we are a small family business. There was no interest in going corporate with investors and that kind of thing. That would have been required to get into that space. We're talking 5-7 years ago or whatever
Right.
that was.
Right.
And so when I joined, we always have kind of been talking about when that becomes legal, that being sort of a great way to diversify and be relevant in the growing industry. And hemp kind of just excited us, and we really weren't prepared for it to be legal this year necessarily. So it wasn't something that we've been always kind of had it on our radar, let's put it that way. And
Right.
then we just jumped as soon as we realized that there was a possibility to be able to grow this year. We got involved immediately as soon as we could. Yeah.
And now
Um,
I understand that you also were instrumental. You helped get a lobbyist up to help actually get the bill passed through. Is this true?
Yeah, this is true. It's actually it's kind of interesting. We met Jim Amon and Michael Rell, the two lobbyists that we worked with, through my cousin, who's very active in the shellfish industry, right?
Mm.
So ag in the state of Connecticut winds up being a small world at the end of the day. And so I met them, and just at the right time. And yeah, we were very active. We met with the commissioner, and we helped just talk about. We talked a lot about up in Hartford about the challenges from Scott's side of the business with landscape construction, just the economics in the state and how challenging it is to really have a livelihood in this industry in for various reasons. But independent garden centers, a lot of people forget that we're part of the ag community too. You think about dairy farmers suffering and everything, that gets a lot of press, but we have the competition with the box stores, and you go to Big Y or Stop and Shop, and you can buy all the plants you need, essentially.
Yeah,
these
Whole
days,
Foods.
right? Yeah, so to stay relevant and current is a challenge, and to keep really our customer base are people who value shopping locally and supporting small businesses,
Right.
and go out of their way to do that. So we needed an economic boost as well, and we saw hemp as something new and exciting for us as growers, a new challenge, and also just the economic boost that the garden center might need.
Right. And so
Yeah.
so how many acres did you grow? And how did it go this year? How did your harvest go this year? Let's talk about
Yeah.
what were the pitfalls. What did you
Okay.
find as your
Let's
first
get down-
year? What did you
Down
find?
and dirty
Yes.
on the details. So we grew outdoors and
Okay.
indoors, and I'll start with the outdoor experience. So we grew up just under 2 acres, and as everybody experienced, we got our license at the very tail end of May, and
Right.
we were one of the first people, and got planting as soon as we could legally, which got our plants in the ground sometime in July, very early July, late June. And I think this year we'll be poised to do a much better job of getting the seedlings in the ground and having the ground prepared ahead of time. So it was a real rush job, in other words.
It was for everybody, by the way. It wasn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
it was for everybody.
No,
They did it really
exactly.
late.
Thank goodness, though. Thank goodness the legislation did get passed. And
Yeah.
I'm sure every single grower in the state appreciates the fact that we had a year to learn. We strategically chose to have a very low point of entry price-wise. We bought some regular seeds from a farmer in Colorado, and he was very helpful, mentoring me and guiding me through, hemp agricultural and some pointers and tips and stuff. But we did have males in the field, and we had to be very careful about culling the males. And we also had that wet summer, so our girls were just starting to get knee high, maybe hip high, when we were visited by deer over the course of the weekend.
Oh.
Yep. So they enjoyed. If you want some really chilled out venison up in Killingworth, the deer should have a lot of CBD in them.
Ah, there you go.
so we got hit pretty hard, and that was a learning experience. But obviously, we'll prepare for that better next year, with including some deer fencing,
Right.
and just some strategic land management stuff that we can integrate. But we also experienced some challenges with learning the plant, learning how much water it wanted, how much it didn't want. Culling the males was no joke. That was
That's
an
true.
experience, just trying to stay on top of that. And we did a pretty good job. I did have some yield from the field that survived all of the above. And we were just happy to not have lost our shirts with it or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the indoor stuff went well?
But then so thankfully, we talk about it being a family operation here. So my daughter really was involved in the growing operation pretty intimately, and she just pushed really hard for us to use some of the plants that were supposed to go into the field to replace the males as we pulled them out when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
We to have greenhouse grows, which we had always planned on doing, but we thought kind of next year probably. So anyway, we wound up with the greenhouses packed full, and that worked really well. That was sort of where our primary harvest is from, and we wound up with some really high quality, good smokable flour out of it, as well as lots of interesting. It was beneficial for us because it was a way to really get to know the plant biology a little bit better, because you have a closer eye, and you're maintaining, if you will, the crop a little bit differently.
Right. When it's indoors,
you're sort of manicuring it, if you will. And so we learned. We had some great phenotypes. We got to play around with a little bit of cloning, and just we feel like we're poised for success either way. But we really enjoyed the greenhouse growing experience. Yeah.
That's great. And I noticed that you have some products out there that you're ready to start moving up at the farm there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing now? What do you have?
We do. So just as I just said, I think the smokable flour is something that we're heavily focused on, and so we've got a couple of different varieties. It's actually mostly the same genetics, but we wound up with some pretty distinct phenotypes showing up. So in other words, some pretty distinct subtypes, if you will, in the greenhouse that we sort of separated by terpenes and by visual differences and stuff. So we have some really purple, fruity smelling stuff we're calling our grape variety, sort of our stronger classic, standard. The majority of the crop was this really rich smelling that we're calling our OG number one.
Oh, nice.
Which
okay.
always makes me giggle. Because I'm not as hip as that sounds. And then we have a cherry variety that we'll be offering as smokable flour. And just to round out my retail offerings, I also am collaborating closely with Savvy Tea in Madison to develop some herbal blends, like a wellness blend and a sleepy time blend. And those are drinkable teas that include cannabis. And then I'm fooling around with my own smoke blends. So using herbs to infuse smoke blends for people to just have a little bit of a different experience, mixing in spearmint or lavender or something with the cannabis as a smokable product.
Interesting.
And that's where I'm rounding out my stuff. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And I know you're carrying a special coffee up there now.
I know a guy. I got a guy who has some pretty delicious coffee.
It's great coffee,
and we'll be carrying that.
Much
appreciated.
appreciated.
We do carry some tincture. We do carry a full suite of tinctures and salves and stuff from other various Connecticut-based companies. I feel passionate that as far as my retail shop goes, I'm supporting local businesses in the area,
Right.
and so they're all Connecticut-based craft CBD companies that will be in my retail shop.
That's one thing I did notice at the hemp festival. How many local craft CBD companies are actually here in Connecticut?
Yeah, very
I
excited
didn't realize
to watch all
that.
that grow.
And they brought their products, and some of them are actually very young people just
Yeah.
getting into the industry. Really nice
Yeah.
to see the fresh faces, and it's nice that you support them. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's sort of why my heart opened up, to this event. I really cared a lot about trying to bring the community together, just because I love the idea that we really do need each other, and I feel strongly about that. I feel like sometimes, in the business world, there's a lot of competition, and of course that's healthy and that's good. But I think as an emerging industry, we have to show a really united front that we're here to create
Right.
a wellness movement. That's our objective, and we're all working towards that objective, so that people sort of embrace cannabis and poise the state to embrace it when it's ready for marijuana to become
Legal,
recreationally legal. Break down the stigmas and really help communities that can benefit from it together.
Well, I think what I like about the hemp is that, first of all, you don't have the corporate players in here in Connecticut yet.
That's right.
So unlike the medical marijuana industry, the whole industry is really based upon a bunch of small farmers, medium, small size farmers. So it doesn't have that whole corporate stigma. That's why you can have all these craft CBD companies. You could never see that in the medical marijuana industry. And I also think that if the legislators are paying attention, it could serve as a model for the actual legal recreational industry to show them, hey, look, people can grow this plant on their own in small areas on small farms and put out products and do it responsibly and be legal about it. So maybe if the CBD industry and the hemp industry can show that, which they have, maybe we can get a similar type of regulation in the legal industry, allowing for small craft cannabis. So hopefully we can be a good example.
I hope so too. And just really, really briefly, without going into too much detail, but I'm still working with the lobbyists that to really. I think one of the things we can do is demonstrate as growers that we are responsible, first of all. But second of all, it's really important, I think, for the legislative community to understand that cannabis is cannabis and to put restrictions on who can grow what variety of cannabis is not necessarily an area to get hung up on. You know what I'm saying by that? Like allowing hemp farmers a little bit more flexibility with growing recreational marijuana will allow us to create a better product as well, because we'll be able to be in compliance on the hemp end, and then also, sort of start playing with what grows well in the state as far as a variety of types of higher CBD strains that may be a little bit higher THC content, but still well below the psychotropic levels. And I just think I just hope that we are able to impress upon the decision makers that that we're capable and responsible, and we should be included.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an agriculture product, regardless of whether it has the THC or not. And there's nothing like sun-grown hemp or cannabis. And
That's right.
And to take that away, and that's what, unfortunately, a lot of the legal states have done, has made the regulation that everything needs to be grown indoors. And they've taken away the ability for, especially like California, which is an agricultural state, taken away the abilities of the farmers themselves to get involved in the industry. To limit it just to hemp would be a travesty. Why not allow farmers to get into the legal THC cannabis industry as well? So hopefully we can get them to that point, but they haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. And I know that there's various concerns. I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's more complex than that, but I think it should be a point of consideration for sure. Because think about the devastating impact that you read about for the farmer in California, for the people who have been in the craft
Growing
marijuana
outdoors for
industry
years.
illicitly for all these generations, and those farms are not able to survive, and that is a travesty.
And not even illicitly. These people were in the medical field for years,
That's true too.
supplying the medical industry until they regulated it recreationally. and then they changed the medical regulations as well at the same time. So, yeah, it was a shame, and hopefully in Connecticut, we can put together a decent sort of regulations. We're still waiting for the feds on hemp, so we'll have to see what they do. But from all indications, it looks like they're going to pretty much stick with the framework that they've already laid out as the pilot program and just enhance it a little bit. So, I mean, that's looking good. We'll just have to see. We're waiting. I think they said the regulations will be out in about 2 weeks, correct, Lou?
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then, of course, all of us in the hemp and CBD industry know that the CBD industry itself is still up for regulation.
That's right.
So we have that to,
That's
think
right.
about as well when we decide what products we're actually going to start working on and promoting. But, all right.
Yeah.
Well, Becky, we are looking forward to hearing more from you. I know you're a member of the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association along with Lou. And I know there
Yes.
was a lot of talk of other events being scheduled
There is.
throughout the year.
I think we had a good start, and I look forward to the next one for sure. It'll
Yes.
be fun.
Absolutely. And how can people get a hold of you? How Running Brook Farms, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is you can either call the shop or go to runningbrookfarms.com. And there's a link to an email right there that reaches me. I will be posting sometime this week. We're going to create a separate email because there's been so much hemp interest.
Mhm.
So look forward to a specific hemp link on our website, and that will go directly to me to field questions and to be reachable.
Great.
Love it.
Love it. And they can always find you on Facebook and social media as well, right?
Always.
Mhm.
Yes.
Excellent. So
All right.
check out runningbrookfarms.com, everybody. Thank you, Becky, for coming on, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Becky.
guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Joe, pay some bills, sir.
You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to Facebook.com/New Haven Independent or go to your Facebook page and look us up. So, that was a nice conversation.
That was awesome, Joe.
Looking forward to more stuff happening around Connecticut. It just shows that we can all get together, work together, and be a family.
Well,
out
it's
here.
a lot different than the cannabis world.
It really is. I
The
did
hemp
notice
world was
that.
very comfortable. It was very nice, and as we continue to build these
Farmer type people.
yeah,
You know what I
much
mean?
more
Like more
agricultural.
real.
We're more crunchy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the word for it. That little
That's
more,
the new term.
That's the crunchy. That's,
Crunchy.
That's a good term.
I threw that term around a little bit in Idaho. That was because Europe and Canada are doing really big things with hemp buildings, and wineries and breweries are really embracing it because of the anti-mold and
Mm-hmm.
anti-fire properties. So commercial properties are really looking into it.
Yeah, I'm very interested. Did you get to see Hempcrete?
We got to see a couple hempcrete buildings that were already built. Talked to a couple architects that are looking to work in the sustainable world.
Is it true about hemp that you can burn it like Hempcrete?
You can.
Were they doing that with the torch and everything? I've seen
Yeah.
videos online where you can actually burn it.
Yeah, so you can literally, they took the torch and they put it up onto it smolders it a little bit, but then it just goes right out. you
Wow.
know?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then were they showing the wood and all the new particle boards?
All the particle boards, the hempcrete with lime and the overlays, and there's so many different things that they're sending us a couple samples, so
Oh,
we'll
nice.
be able to have
Bring it
them.
into the studio.
We'll bring them into the studio, a couple swatches and a couple other samples. So it was pretty cool. Hemp insulation was there, and that was really interesting.
And plastic? Yeah.
And plastics, the whole nine.
Wow.
You
Wow. That's something we definitely need to bring out to the East Coast. We got to get some producers out here,
Oh yeah, 100%.
who are actually making that kind of stuff. Because it seems to me it looks like everybody's doing CBD out here right now. But
That's it.
obviously there's no production facilities built yet. So somebody wants to make a lot of money, start building a hemp wood production facility or a hempcrete production facility, and then you could start buying some hemp from the local farmers around here. But
That's right.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's all we need to get, or at least one near here. New York would be good. You know, up there where they do all the lumber up there in New York, you might be able to put a plant there.
Yeah, it's a big thing. The decortication plant is the biggest thing. They're about $1 million ultimately.
That is to strip the
Strip
hemp.
the hemp and everything like that. So
That's always been. I mean, since hemp was being used, decorticating the hemp has always been the major issue with it. And the invention of the decorticator is what spurred the, let's say, the oil people and the people.
yeah, that's what
To
really
make it
started
illegal.
yeah, that's what really started to get people going.
Yeah,
And so everybody's using the older style. So in Canada and Europe, they really are doing the decortication
Right.
efforts. And on the West Coast, they've been pushing it a lot. So they're going to start their decortication processing facilities as well. But this is also for the people that are growing hundreds of acres, not necessarily
not-
just 10 or 15 acres. And, you know, a lot of people grew hundreds of acres for boutique for biomass. Realistically, and when we say biomass, I'm saying biomass as in for extract, not biomass for
for hempcrete,
fiber
right.
or hempcrete or hemp lime or any of that. So those are big things, you know, just having the ability to do that. So setting up a decortication facility in Connecticut currently doesn't really make the most sense. It's not the most
Financially,
profitable.
yeah.
So those are for like the farmers belt over there in Ohio and Kentucky and Nebraska, the states that have way more sprawling land, that farmers are going to be doing this. You know, instead of the 5 or 6 feet apart from each other, they'll be planting these fiber trees
Right.
6 inches apart from each other with all the machinery and the combine and everything like that. Because these plants do bind up the material and everything as it comes off, and a decortication machine is the biggest way to work it out. Because this stuff has to be dried too. You're not decorticating wet stuff either.
yeah.
So you know, you're still drying these industrial hemp stalks, and you're just drying it a little bit different than the flower matter. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right.
you can kind of lat it all out and just kind of lay it out and dry it out that way. But when that starts to get stripped and destroyed, that you get the fiber, long fibers, but then you get the hull, and the hull is what you kind of need to have. And if you're trying to make hempcrete with the fibers, you get it really bunched up, and it doesn't really become hempcrete. It
right.
becomes more like a soggy mess that doesn't really move well. So consistencies are a long thing, and you know, growing with hemp is going to be huge, and so we're really excited. I'm looking forward to being able to one day live in a hemp house. So
That would be awesome.
yeah,
I would
so
love to build a house from hemp.
we're working on some of that, and anybody who's interested in that structure or anything, please reach out to us, because it is the project that we're looking to do on the farm over the next 12 months. We're
Put a
looking
hemp
to-
structure on
we
the
want
farm?
we want to build a tiny house, and we're going to put our little nonprofit together, and we're going to build a tiny house and give it away to somebody.
Oh, give it away to me.
Yeah,
I
you know,
need one for the island.
I got you. We'll build one in the island.
Let's build one in the island.
We'll
out of
build
hemp.
multiple ones in the island.
All right, brother. So what's going on? As far as this month, it's Halloween on Thursday, and the only thing I got going on is the normal meeting on the 20th.
Right.
We have a few things going on at the Grove. Of course, every Saturday we're doing the Vinyl Record Day. So if you got nothing to do on Saturdays during the month of November and December, come on down, check out vinyl. We got all kinds of cool records, and we're going to be selling books and comic books down there too on Saturdays. Serving CBD coffee.
Saturdays are always nice. We're also
Yeah.
at the farm, so if you stop at Go-Go Joe's, you can stop by the farm. There's some music going every day. We serve lunch,
Look at
real
that.
farm to table style, so you can get some nice music, antique music, even new music, all different types of vinyls, because vinyls are still being produced. I don't know if
Yep.
you know, our listeners are
They are
hip.
producing new vinyl.
Yep, our listeners are hip, you
And he
know?
has some of that new vinyl too, but he has a lot of the old stuff.
A lot of the old stuff, but you know, sometimes there's those nice ones that come out.
Yeah.
We have a buddy, War God Records, I believe it is. Jay Reason does that out
Oh,
of
really?
Milford, and he puts out every month. They put out some great compilation of vinyl records and some really cool styles.
Like-
I think they did the last record that came out. I got one, but when you moved it, you know those old Jason Mass or something that looked like the blood pumped through
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The record actually, the vinyl record actually has the moving liquid inside of it, and it moves around like a blood. The red vinyl, and I believe it was like a 25th anniversary Jason soundtrack vinyl for a Friday the 13th soundtrack
Wow.
vinyl, and you know they put out re-release a lot of older style music or records or stuff from our generations that just get a nice facelift. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd love to have the guy step down.
Yeah,
That'd be great. He's
that's
right in
Jason.
Milford.
Jason's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know
Jay
he did
Reason.
that. Yeah, I didn't know he did that as well. He's got a man of many talents.
Many talents. He
Yeah.
did a lot of really awesome things. So
Yeah.
we all know Jay Reason,
I'd
and he's
love
a
to
good
have
guy.
him come down and see it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to display his records.
And he's in Milford, so
I
that's,
know that's what we got to.
Well, his
We'll link
office
that
is in
up.
South Norwalk, but he's a
Yeah, we'll
New
link
York,
that
New York music guy.
Yeah.
Those New York music guys.
Well, that's a cool thing to know. So we got that going on. I've got a meditation class on the 9th over there.
Very nice.
Other than that, the normal meeting on the 20th. Lou, can you think of anything?
So we have the normal things that you would be normally
Can of Health
doing.
on
Can of
Fridays.
Health on Fridays. If
Can of
you're in
Health
the
on-
Middletown area, please make sure to check out
Saturdays.
our Saturdays in Middletown. What else do we have going? I think we're doing good, Joe. I think
Yeah,
we're
it's getting towards the holidays.
going
so
towards the
things are going
holidays.
to
Some more
change.
shows. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other awesome things, so you can kind of keep abreast of what's going on.
Yeah. Thanks to our guest Becky, and we'll see you all next week.
That's right. Stay happy, healthy, and high.
Peace.
Told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I'm in Cali every week. I go hard. Bro said he got sour, need that whole